Hello all, welcome to Tech Recess. In this video, we will talk about forward proxy versus reverse proxy and differences between these two proxies along with benefits of these. Before we deep dive into the concepts of reverse proxy and forward proxy, let us understand what is a proxy itself. So, if you go by definition in a dictionary, it says that it is the authority to act on the behalf of someone. So, if you take an example like in a class, right, whenever suppose your friend is not present, you try to mark him as a present, right, by saying by acting as a proxy to him or her. So the same way, right, whenever your friend is absent, you are trying to mark his proxy attendance. So you are trying to basically act on behalf of him or her. So similarly, here also, we can understand that a proxy is something that is acting on behalf of something else, right? So, for example, if you want to understand what is a forward proxy, and suppose you are the client and want to connect to some website over internet, so you can directly connect to that, right? But if there is a proxy in between, which is like taking your request and sending it to the website, right? For example, here you can see that a user want to connect to google.com via myproxy.com. So whatever request it is received by the server, it is not coming from directly from the client, but it comes from the proxy.com, right? So what is happening that whatever request which a server is seeing is basically coming from the proxy, not from the actual user. Okay. So whenever there's a proxy, like maybe your ISP provider, in between the client browser and the actual server is serving a request. So that time we can say that there is a proxy acting on behalf of client, right? So why we need this? Because sometime what happens that you want to control the traffic, right? Which is going out from the client. For example, in a corporate setup, we cannot access all the websites, right? There are certain websites which are forbidden to the employees. So suppose employee want to access certain websites, so they have to go through the corporate proxy setup. So whatever request they are coming to proxy setup, it is being filtered out or verified. Then the request is going to the server. So now whatever the website servers are there, they're not aware that this request is coming from the either the proxy setup or coming from the exactly the user. So that's why whenever we use the forward proxy, at that time receiving server does not know the actual client, but it is just know that okay, some site or some proxy is trying to access this website. So this setup is used for the corporate world where they want to access basically restrict access for certain websites, and they can apply some policies. Like they also have firewalls, but apart from firewalls, they set up the proxy and they can filter the websites and all. So that's why whenever the receiving server is not aware of actual client, right? And it doesn't matter to it that it just mean that it is coming from somewhere like proxy maybe. So it is called a forward proxy. Okay. Similarly, okay, now let us understand the benefits of forward proxy. So whenever we are using the forward proxy, so at proxy level, right, the proxy may be your another server served by set up by the your corporate or maybe some other setup, maybe your ISPs also, they can cache data. So suppose there is some website is favored to you and you are hitting it multiple times. So Rather than sending request to the actual website, it can be cached at the proxy server level. So caching is also a very good use case of the forward proxy. Second is the anonymity. So suppose you want to protect your clients, right? Because maybe because of some reason you don't want to expose their IP addresses or maybe their domain names to external world. So at that time, proxy is a good thing because the receiving server will not know that who is the actual user or client for a particular request. Then logging as well. Whatever request being sent by the client, they can be logged at the proxy level. So maybe for alerting purpose or maybe for debugging purpose, we can go back and check those logs. And then the most important use of for proxy is that if there are certain websites which did not basically you don't want to access them, right? Or maybe you want to restrict them for your employees, maybe for school students. Okay, so those you can block using this proxy. And the most important use we are having in the microservices that whenever we have microservice requests are coming, uh, they can be sent to the servers which are having those APIs which can serve it, but they won't be knowing exactly from where request came. So these are the few benefits for proxy. Now let us understand what is a reverse proxy. So reverse proxy is something, for example, you want to access the google.com, right? And google.com is not one website or one server, right? It may be having the hundreds of servers in the backend. So that is hidden from the customer or user. So whenever we are trying to connect to the Google server, they there will be a proxy server in between from google.com that is going to route our request to the actual server. So now here what is happening that client does not know that which server it is being served, right? So that's why it is called reverse proxy. So very quickly we can say that in reverse proxy client does not know the final destination, like which server is going to serve its request. And on the contrary, when we talk about the forward proxy, the server does not know that from which client this request came from. So this one way you can remember a difference between these two proxies. So now let us understand the benefits of a reverse proxy. So yeah, same thing that caching is always there in proxy because suppose you are hitting google.com multiple times. So the proxy which is serving at first contact, it will cache the response, right? So next time it will not send your request to the backend server and it will basically serve you from the cache itself. And second thing is the load balancing. I mean, I have covered this topic already, so you can refer my previous videos. But like in the short, I can say that because in the backend there will be maybe hundreds of servers serving the request. So now a proxy will also act as the load balancer and will route the request to the those particular servers, maybe using some algorithms like round robin algorithm. So yeah, so I mean basically the reverse proxy is also working as a load balancer. And also the third point is the canary deployment. So what happens that suppose google.com want to launch a new product. So it cannot launch product to all users. So it want to test it first, right? So maybe it will set up, okay, let us 5% users can access my new service and they can test it and so that it can get feedback from them. Uh, so what happens that in reverse proxy setup, you can route a few requests, say 5% request to a new features having having servers, and rest of requests can go to previous, I mean the old servers, right? So this is how you can test your deployments, and maybe you can roll back, or you can deploy this feature into all other servers as well. And similarly, we also use I mean, this also use microservices, like we have the sidecar proxies and all those stuff. So microservices also are utilizing the reverse proxy concepts. So maybe I will cover that in my another video. So for now, that's it. I hope it was a good video to make you understand between difference between reverse and forward proxy. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Please leave comments or questions, and please subscribe as well, and so that I get some encouragement to make more videos like these. And thank you. Thanks a lot.